Let's talk about something called the Ooda Loop. You guys have heard this before. OODA. Observe, orient, decide, and act. That's what that stands for. The Ooda Loop is a reactionary mindset. It's a way of approaching a problem. It's what your brain does. So, like this, I'm observing before somebody gets to shoot me. What they have to do is observe me. They have to first see me. Then they have to orient themselves towards me. All right, so they observe, orient. Then they have to take a decision, a conscious decision to do something, whether it's punch, stab, shoot, detonate, bow, whatever. They have to make a decision to do that. That's the decision part. And then they have to act. And all of those things take a certain amount of time depending on how much training that person has, how much training that person has put in, and the work that they put in on their side. So we know that the human body reacts in roughly a quarter a second to stimulus. To some stimuli, it takes about a quarter a second for my brain to register something happened and for me to make one motion towards that thing. So inside that Ooda Loop, that's why when we train to have our people, our students shoot from the holster just a straight draw. Their shot time is going to be 1.5 seconds is what we're trying to get them at, but if they get under 2 seconds, that's good, and that's at 7 meters, 7 yards. And the reason we choose that is because it gives us the opportunity to observe the bad guy, right? They're coming, they observe us, orient, decide, and as they're starting their action, we're already engaged trying to get inside of their Ooda Loop before they can close their loop of observe, orient, decide, and act. We're going to make ours a tighter loop because we've trained ourselves to see something and react to it faster because we've built, as we talked about in a previous video, those neural pathways. So that's the Ooda Loop. Observe, orient, decide, and act. That's the process the brain goes through to take action against someone. And that's what you have to be able to do is make a tighter, faster loop. And the way you make a tighter, faster loop in your mind is by drilling, training, and working on things. On the range, in just your everyday life, being aware of things, trying to anticipate, like, what is that car going to do? What I've done before is watch a boxing match or an MMA match, and I've tried to clap my hands before that guy throws a punch. When I see him about ready to make a move, I'll try to clap my hands and anticipate or see that guy telegraph his movement and then jump in ahead of him and get that done. Just a little small, silly drill I do, but it helps in that regard.